you were storm chasing when there was a tornado that struck Jay in May of 2019. So what was that like? What was the experience like? This is a sponsored interview by Strength and Dignity Bodywork, and I'm thankful for Northeast Tech gifting me the opportunity to use their podcast studio to interview storm chaser Nacoma Hutchison.
One of the worst feelings you could ever have is trying to, do everything you can to get the information out, but you can only do that so much before it's actually happening. There's nothing you can do but basically watch it.
So what was the force of the tornado for that one?
That one was, I believe, EF2.
EF2. Okay. Wow. And now with the tornadoes, can go up to an EF5. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So EF2. What was some of the damage like? What did you see on that day?
Well, roofs ripped off, lots of tree damage. The J Family Medicine Clinic had part of its roof ripped off. One of the houses had one whole story ripped off of it.
Wow.
And then a few other houses had some pretty significant damage.
Was there any loss of life?
Not to the tornado, no.
Okay, that's a blessing. Mm-hmm. But I know that living in this area, we have tornado warnings, and that happens on a pretty regular basis. But then it's one thing to have a tornado warning; it's another thing to actually experience a tornado, and that's what you have done. I mean, that's what you had at that time. And then I'm assuming you probably have seen other tornadoes as well?
Yeah, we've seen several over the years.
So what's going on in your mind as you're maybe driving right by a tornado?
Mine, well, it's always, like I said, exit strategies, my next move, basically. Keeping up with the storm itself, and then also in my mind, what do I got to do in case something changes?
So has there been a time where, and I know someone was asking something like this, but basically the question was, has there been a time where something does change and then you were not expecting that? Then what do you do in that situation? Do you have any type of example about that?
Last year, we had a tornado, rain-wrapped tornado, just outside of Siloam Springs. We turned around on 412, and which storms do, it shifted. The tornado shifted. And it shifted closer to us than what I originally had figured in my head. So, and I still was trying to figure out, what my next move was, but I was limited at the time of what I could do. I still had an out if I needed it, but this tornado still got closer than what I originally planned for, and it was rain wrapped.
Wow. So how did you escape that situation?
It crossed in front of us, like within 100 yards.
Wow.
And we just rode it out. The winds right there.
Wow. What category was that tornado?
I think that one was, it was in either an EF1 or an EF2.
Now, did you see anybody else out on the road or anywhere during that time?
Yeah, semi drove right into it.
Wow.
Like I said, it was rain wrapped. You couldn't, if you didn't know what was going on, you would have had no clue what you're driving into, because it was raining so hard, you would have just thought It's just, a really heavy rainstorm.
So how could you tell the difference? And do you know what happened to the semi by any chance?
He drove right on through. Never seen him again.
Okay.
So,
And how can you tell if it's just raining or if you're going to pass through a rain-wrapped tornado?
well, the biggest thing is wind direction. The change in the wind speeds or directions of the winds. If it starts changing, you're pretty close to something.
Okay. All right. That could be potentially life-saving just
Yeah.
to have some of that observation